So what's really important to understand is as we keep relying more and more on technology, and as you said, right, the people and the business needs to rely on those technology and therefore trust those technologies if their business is running on it, right? So if you put yourself in the shoes of a center of excellence, so you're basically in charge of running the automation operation here. The question is, how much should we prioritize the implementation of what we call predictive maintenance, right? So the idea being using a set of capabilities that would allow you to try to predict what will happen in the future so that you can improve the overall uptime, avoid downtime, and overall making it more reliable so people can trust it and you can keep scaling. So what's your point of view there?
Yeah, I mean, again, like predictive maintenance, if you can do solid predictive maintenance and understand and really like take that proactive approach, right? If you can take a proactive approach with the abilities and the items that you're putting into your production, you're going to have better trust. You're going to have better insight. You're going to know what is and what isn't working. You're going to be able to see, did that last Windows update, mess with something, and you're going to have that ability to see it because you're predictively taking a look at it. And so is that going to save you time? Yes, it goes back to that 80/20 approach, right? 80% of the time, yeah, do the ROI. 20% focused internally to get better insights because it's going to pay dividends. Like you're going to get better out of it. Your users, your employees are going to be more enabled from it. You're going to have better visibility on what is going on to even tell other teams, hi, did you know that all this messed up because of some change? They may not even see it, but automation teams have the ability to see very quickly and how it impacts potentially all the bots or all of the efforts. And then you can give that feedback back, or you can just do test maintenance or test understanding where you can say, hey, when you do these updates, we can test that if as if like hundreds of users were doing the same thing. It'd be really great to run this kind of thing because again, not only are you helping your own automation team and your center of excellence and whatnot, you can help enable other teams to do the same stuff. And so that same predictive maintenance, that same predictive understanding and control and focus on the actual items that are being orchestrated and that viewpoint can be done for multiple other teams.
Yeah. So this capability to being able to analyze what you are building as a software robot, and being able to monitor that software robot and being able to detect uh, when something is potentially going to create a problem in the future. Those
Yep.
capabilities exist today, right? So those are things that can be utilized. You can go all the way to I have 80% chance that this will go down tomorrow, please have a look at it, based on the analysis and the trending of the historical data. There's also a number of capability where you can review the code that has been written to not just predict the downtime or the potential issue, but also potentially optimize the code itself to improve the runtime, which will have an impact on your licenses, right? And people are always trying to optimize that, right? So there's a whole set of very interesting capabilities that are available today to somehow augment a center of excellence and
Mhm.
and allow them to better manage that automation so that it does not go down, it does not cost crazy amount of license, it does not do something that will impact, as you were saying, the trust that the
Mhm.
entire organization needs to have on those technology to ask for more, right? So that when you
Right.
go to your internal customer, if that concept exists, and you are trying to further promote automation and AI inside, people should be happy because first, obviously, they are not afraid of losing their job, but that's a different conversation. And second, they know that once they have handed over this task, this process to you, it will run and it will not create more trouble, right? It's a
Right.
reliable. So the work of the COE and the let's say the extra technology that are available today to augment the COE to do that, it's has to be a safe pair of hands, right? You hand over to a safe pair of hands, and you can sleep well. The bot will do the job without failing. This is really important.
It is. It's important to also, like, I mean, whoever is driving that, whatever leadership and whatever group you have that is running your automation platform, you have to build trust in that. And they should also be looking at the security side of this, the data security, the infosec. Like, how does that look? What does that do? How are you doing your bot processes? How are you gaining access to controls inside of these systems? All that comes into play as well. But if you don't have really good monitor control, like, how do you know if they're doing it right? How do you trust that leadership as well? So definitely it all comes together, and it all revolves around trust, understanding, monitoring, orchestration, really like gaining those insights and driving that message home of like, this is why this works, and here's the metrics that support that.
Yeah. And just to try to, let's try to give an example here. So something I can think of. Let's say you automate uh, license requests, right? So Microsoft license requests. And you have this nice bot that is now managing all those requests, fulfilling those requests, adding, removing licenses. People are very happy. It works well. You don't have to do it manually. But if something wrong happened here, and for example, all the licenses get removed, and then suddenly you have hundreds of people who cannot use their tool, and they have like 2 days of downtime. Probably the reaction will be, I don't want to use that stuff anymore, right? This is creating too much trouble. So this is a practical example of this is not where you want to be. And when you are starting to do things at scale across the entire organization for something that can have a huge impact, right? You cut all the licenses of all your employees, nothing happens, right? So again, I think nowadays, this automation ops or this maintaining the uptime, ensuring that not only the bot works but it behaves correctly, is going to be increasingly important, especially when you start augmenting that with AI that can also let's say inject extra level of problems, hallucination and all of that. All of that will have to be monitored very carefully so that you don't end up doing something really wrong with all those tools, right?
Right. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of enterprises and medium size. Every business is impacted at the level of understanding that many users have different roles and have access to many different databases, systems, constructs within these companies. And if you go and use Gen AI and you happen to like get prompt injected or hallucinate it or build it and hypnotize it to think it's something else, and it has controls that it doesn't have that audit and it doesn't have that thing that says like don't go any further. That's where the bonus of automation is very much like on rails and very, very controlled versus this uncontrolled thing. You're asking for trouble.
You are. And also when something wrong happens, because unfortunately it happens, having the capability to do very quick root cause analysis to identify and pinpoint where the problem is also something that is going to be important. And again, nowadays with all those tools available, those are things that you can do. You can be augmented. You can do the RCA, the root cause analysis, much faster if you are using the right technology, right?
I mean, and just try asking why ChatGPT or why these LLMs came up with the solution or the idea after it's been prompted and asked questions, like how did it get to that point? It's not going to tell you. There is no root cause analysis. It doesn't have that logic yet. And some people are trying to build that in. I've written my own kind of logic around that and how we should be looking at this. It's just not there yet. Again, it's not commoditized. It's not ready. It's not really ready for enterprise in a very many ways. It's not ready. Yet there are ways to actually still bring it in and use it in some cases.
Yes. So again, let's close this video here. I think that the key message here that we want to push is the fact that when we look at this automation and AI momentum that is being created and that is growing so fast, right? The rate of change for technology is now becoming so much faster than the rate of change of human, right? That we
Yep.
struggle to to keep track of yet another tool, yet another algorithm, yet another use case, right? The point being here is, as this is happening and it's totally transforming pretty much every organization from the biggest one to the smallest one, there is a need here to think about, the same way people are considering governance is critical for AI management. Operational management is
Yes.
critical for those tools, right? So that's really the message here that we want to push, that this is something that you want to consider, you want to understand that space, you want to realize that you need to have that space under control, right?
I mean, if you try to if we break it down a level and just say, if you had a maintenance like a manufacturing company and you were building lots of different boxes and bottles and putting them down supply chains and whatnot, and they were kind of just automatically boxing in and putting in boxes and shipping them off, if that has any kinks in the system or goes down or anything, there's issues. Every one of those companies has, do we have enough boxes? Did they get ordered? Do we have enough bottles to put in the things? Do we have enough freight to get it out? If you're not monitoring that, you just lost money. Same thing happens in automation. If your systems and your companies don't have the information that's there, you're going to potentially lose money. By not utilizing automation, you're not going to grow as fast. So if you want more money, use automation, use intelligent automation, build it out, do it right. If you want to not innovate and just stay where you are, okay, well, stay where you are. But eventually you're going to lose out because everybody's going to be innovating
Yes.
around you. But if you're going to look to innovate and drive it, take care of it. Care and feeding is a thing. It's been talked about for many years. Take care of your stuff, do it right, understand the nuance around it, understand the visibility and the maintenance control of it so that you can actually drive impactful change. That's the goal.
100%. If you don't do it, you're probably gonna die because you have
Yeah,
to do it. But
you'll be replaced.
if you do it wrong, you are also probably going to die, right? So I
Yeah.
mean, you have only one shot here, and you have to do it right, right? So this
Yeah.
is really the key point here.